Hello. Why do people always do this? Can I do that? Wiggle my fingers? I don't know. Does that mean I'm here and you're not just staring at a empty paper? That was fun. I've never done that before. So I wanted to get on and just share, these right here. These are new products I picked up a few days ago. Hey, Alyssa. And these are the Brea Reese alcohol inks. So these are different. If you remember, she had the, let me grab one, the glitter inks. So these were her inks that all had like glitter in them and were super, very pigmented and a lot of glitter. So then she switched and now she came out with the alcohol inks. And she also has like the blending solution that comes with it. But these are fun. And I had this one. Hey, everyone. I'm going through the Brea Reese alcohol inks. And so I had this rose color one for a while. But when I went to the store, I should have pulled this out real quick. Where did I put it? It is her Dauber. Hold on. I have the lid. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this. So it comes with a Dauber, and this is like plastic, and then she has foam pads. These are so fun. I can't wait to show you all. These black ones, they're kind of like netted, and then these pink ones, and you get 3 of each inside this package. So like for $5.99, you get all of that in there. And playing with these has been like a lot of fun. How different are those from the alcohol ink markers? The glitter inks, I don't have her alcohol ink markers. I'm not sure. I have like Jane Davenport markers, but they're not alcohol. I would feel like they're the same, just not in a marker form. I mean, if you know, like these are just they're not as pigmented as like the Jane Davenport ones, but, the glitter inks are like, they go everywhere. And these will react with the alcohol and give like fun texture. So I'm going to start with, apparently Friday night is the time to get on here. So I'm going to start with the black one and take the ink. I'll try to push this up so it's not, let me move some stuff on the comments. And I'm just going to apply it directly on here. So just kind of randomly place it, and then I'm just going to dab it onto the page. Let me grab a sheet to put under here since I forgot to do that. Okay. So you can kind of just like, if you wanted to drag it, you can kind of get a more solid color. I'm going to grab a little bit more of that since I stopped. But if you want like just barely splotching on the page, you're going to get that fun, almost like what I've done with the watercolor brushes when I do the watercolor stomping, where you just get like a very kind of splattered look. You can easily get with this little sponge that she sells. And then you can take it and mix, I'm going to do it with this purple. And then we'll add some alcohol. And then I'm going to show you what the pink one does. I've actually not used the white foam one. I've not used. And I do feel like that will be, can't really tap that off. You can see that. So the foam one, I think will just be like if you wanted a more solid texture. Which I'll just go over and break that up with a stencil and do that. But then this is, let's throw this on. So this one is the metal. So she has like a liquid metal, in gold, in silver. I can't remember what the other ones. And these are solid, like very solid colors. There is no, you'll kind of see when I put it on. But it's a very like strong color. So this just like almost does sponge painting. Like if you had a sponge and you wanted to just give some texture, you can just kind of sponge on the page, and it does a really fun, I mean, I feel like you can see that well, and pull that on. I'm going to pull, since I'm kind of showing you, I want to grab, I have a blue, did I get blue? Oh, yeah. So I have this blue one, too, that I've not opened yet. And they're $3.99, so they're not... I bought these when they were not on sale. But I'm sure you can get them for a great deal when they're actually running the special on them. So the other thing you can do with these, if you've not used these before, is you can just take a tray and just put it in there and then use a water brush. And, uh-oh, how in the world did I just do that? Hold on, before this gets everywhere, because it will. We're going to wipe that. Okay, so you can take it on a water brush and then just apply it directly to the page. Because it's so splotchy right now, I kind of want to get some of the solid color into it. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? And we're just going to kind of drag some of that on there and kind of mix those colors together. And this, because the gold was not dry, it kind of changed to this green color. I bet. I'm sure you're enjoying or not enjoying your Friday night. I'm going to grab this purple. We're going to toss a little bit of that in there. And let's see. I'm just kind of taking the watered down purple and going to drag that in a little bit. I want to get more of a background and then go through with a stencil and kind of pull this together. There is a lot happening right here. So we're going to show you how to kind of make this page come together where it looks like it's not just a bunch of the color thrown on the page. And I think I'm going to use texture paste. Let's get a little bit of that. Should I use texture paste, or I can use modeling paste if y'all would prefer. If anyone has an opinion, you can leave it because I'll pull it out as soon as I dry. Oh, and I did forget, I can take this. Let's do this real quick. You can take the alcohol, the blending solution. I do have the Ranger ink, the Tim Holtz blending solution, and I've not pulled it out yet to see if it would work the same. So I just went ahead and bought this, but I would assume that the Ranger one, if you already have it, would do the same thing as hers. I don't know what would be different. So before I dry this and add, we're just going to kind of... pour that on there, and you can see, I do want to give, can you see how the color pulled away and it's, I want to say oxidized, but that's not the word. Like when the color is pulling away, it's doing, I don't know, that thing that alcohol inks do with the blending solution. Hey, Suzanne. Hey, Janet. So let me dry this. I do want to, because they're alcohol inks, I would recommend keeping lids on them so they don't dry out quickly. Okay, so let's get back to grind this, and then I'm going to get some white. I'm going to just use her Glossy Dimension, the white modeling paste is this one. And I don't know, I'll show that in case you don't have that. This is glossy. It works with stencils, so you're going to have a raised texture. And I love modeling paste, and texture paste is really fun. Hey there. All right, let me find a stencil. think I might use, let's use this one right here. It is the Ranger heat gun. So it is made by Ranger, and it looks like the blow dryer, but it is much, like quieter. If you notice, when you have like the embossing gun, it's hotter than the Ranger gun, but it's really loud. And so I love this for if you are doing videos, people can hear you, and it's not as hard. Like you don't have to move it around so much where you feel like you're going to burn your page, because that does happen with embossing gum if you don't move it. Okay, and so this is just like a regular plastic palette knife. You're welcome. I'll put this on here. Try to kind of not knock my phone. So you're just going to smear it. You are just going to scrape this on here. The thing I like with the modeling paste is I will dry it and it will bubble, but it's just going to give more texture. If you do not want it to bubble, do not dry it with a heat gun, and let this be the last thing you do, and then let it sit overnight until the next day. And you'll see that in a minute when I dry it. Let's see, I think I'm going to turn that this way. Always make sure that you go off the edges of your paper with, it doesn't have to be the modeling paste, but I would say, you know, when you're adding the texture, because it's just going to visually draw your eye around the page. Oh, this is, I'll show you, but it is the ESV Journaling Bible, and they have come out with, and they've been out for a while, but it's books of the Bible. Like, first they just had the New Testament. So this is the book of Romans, and I actually have just come out with the Old Testament too. Let me dry it before. Hold on, I want to add something. Let's see. I think I can add this here. So it has the text on, like the verse of the Bible is on one side, and then the other side is blank. And the pages hold up really well to all the products. You don't have to worry, you know, about the text getting covered. Now it will, I think there's text on the other side of this, so there might be like bleed through, but you still will be able to read all my text. So yeah, there are line pages, but this is a completely blank page. And so the words are on the opposite side, but like an interleaved is blank on both, like this side and this side, but this one does have the words on the other side. So you wouldn't want to pour like a black, you know, liquid watercolor or something, because it would go through and then you would lose your words. Hold on, I want to get this here and then I want to dry it. I was at the retreat in Ohio. I can't think of who I was with, but Ann Cardos from Logos Book is her store. She actually sells these, and like I said, you can buy Psalms by itself, Proverbs by itself, and those I think are a little bit more like, I know Psalms is like $10, but all of these are $5, and you get the individual books. And I'll show you. Let me draw this. All right, I'm going to stop adding. And get this. I'll dry it and then I'll show you the front of it, which is painted, but I'll show you one that is not painted. What I really like is I just feel so much freedom in these, because I'm not as worried. It's just one book of the Bible. I'm not worried about text and you know, what's going to happen on the other side. And I feel like it's just more freedom. Plus, it's such a thin book that if you put a lot of like bulky stuff, if you put a lot of paper, I can't remember the name of the retreat, Suzanne. I know who was there, but I can't even think of the name of it. I keep wanting to call it something, the glitter one, which is Ty Bender's retreat, which I've never been to. Whoa, where did that bright light come from? Yeah, so when you know where I was at, you can tell me teepee. It was something about teepees. His tribe retreat, see? I was getting there, but just very slowly. Yeah, so Anne, his tribe retreat, and Anne Cardos, she carries these in her shop, which she will have a link on Facebook or on Instagram, and so you can click on it and find her little shop. And sometimes, like the last time I pulled it up, they were on sale. So you can check that out. And while this is drying, so let's not watch this. I hate watching things dry. So this is some of the shorter, like New Testament ones. Sorry, that's really close. Where can I do it? Are like this is 1st and 2nd Peter and Jude. Most of them are by themselves, and so you can see like. Okay, so here, this is your text, so you just have that on one side, and then you can see the line pages. So that is what I started out with. And it's just easy, like that's a thin, look at how thin the book is. I mean, so most of them are pretty thin. You can paint them, like, so I painted the cover at the retreat, and I think it'd be fun just to have the covers, like, of all of them. Okay, here we go. It's mostly dry. So here I left, you can see how you can still see Romans right there. Hopefully you can see that. And so it handled color just like beautifully. So you were able just to take paint and then some black stamps. So this is modeling paste and paint them. So like my hope is that one day I would kind of have them all and they would all be painted, in various colors. But, you can read on them and just highlight and take notes, and just, again, it's just your journal, but it's like less pressure because it's not a brand new big Bible that maybe you spent a lot of money on. And I don't know. I just the word freedom is just what I've thought of for this several times because I feel free to create in them. So, okay. So that is the alcohol inks. They're just fun. I know I kind of covered up a lot, but I kind of got carried away at the beginning just showing what the product was doing and not really where color was going. But this just shows like using the blending solution. Just look at I want to say it's like watercolor because it just pulls the color away and looks like water spots. You love watching things dry, keep drying. That's hilarious. I can't stand that. And you can see the splotch here and just did it. So, you can keep going. I typically I can stamp. I was going to do the Potter. Let me see. It was over here. So I'm in Romans 9 for those who want to know. Romans 9 and 19 through 24-ish. But it says but who are you, O man, to answer back to God? Well, what does molded say to its molder? Why have you made me like this? Has the potter no right over the clay to make out of the same lump one vessel for honorable use, another for dishonorable? I don't know. That's what the verse that stuck out to me, but I didn't really think about what I was going to write in it. I only highlight and take notes in my Bible, but I have journals that I do stuff like this. And yes, kind of like art journaling is that, I love art journaling. That's kind of how I started out, with canvases and then art journaling. And so Bible journaling was just this beautiful thing when those two worlds collided. I wasn't very good at art journaling, but I enjoyed the process of just, journaling ideas and playing with stencils and stamps and all the fun. Yeah, so that's super fun. So yes, I feel like it's just, to me, this reminds me a lot of an art journal because I've stuck stuff in here. So I could have done this earlier. This is just the acetate, printed on thing that you can stick in there. And then there's these clips. Let's see where a clip is. These clips, which take up a lot of space with a bow on it. So in the bows you can add. I've added another page. If you wanted to add in little pockets to do journaling in, this was another flip in I did. There's just so much you can add in there, and the book is going to take, even if you kind of did every page, I feel like it's going to withstand, and then it's still easy to work in because it's laying flat. Because if in your Bibles, if you keep adding the stuff, your Bible becomes all lopsided, and it's really hard to take photos and use it after that. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to stay in stamp, or if this was the stamp I was going to use. I'm just not sure of the words. I'm hoping, since I have all that texture, that I think I can still get that on there. We're going to go for it. Let's find a stamp block. Here we go. Let's see. I will. If you think of it, send me, it's hard to go back through, but if you shoot me a message, even just don't say anything, then I'll know to do that. I would love to go through and just look and see what you've done. Ink pad. Hey, Nicole. I almost was talking about you. You must have known. I was showing the front of my Romans Bible, and yeah, I don't think I said your name, but I almost did. If Nicole helped us paint the front of them. Okay, I kind of want... Give me a second here, because I don't like cutting and masking. So we're gonna... I probably need some of that. Oh, that'll work for me, because I can just like etch that in right there. That's just a really quick way. If you don't want to cut out the thing and mask it, that is what I do sometimes, is just throw a piece of paper over it. And I really quick just need to plug my phone in. And now I got to figure out how to work around. Sorry, phone is going to shake because I had to get that plugged in. Okay. So for this, I want to take some yellow. Let's see, where's my water brush? This is just like the Prima water brush. I think I got it in a kit one time. And then it's just easy to pick up a little bit of color. Ooh, my brush is dirty. This is a Jane Davenport Brights watercolor palette. So I'm just going to pick up a little of this. And we're going to color in those centers. And then I'm going to... I think I'm going to use this brighter... Let's see. I'm thinking that one right there will be good. I'm going to mix it with a little bit of that hot pink. And I'm not really like thinking about this much, like to be precise. I just kind of like throwing it in there. I've always wondered what they're supposed to be used for. This water brush, yes. When I originally bought it, I was out of town and I did not have art supplies with me. And so it was easy to just sit and do this without much thought process. Like I know people have used them if they're traveling, like on airplanes, and they do art journaling and they'll just like carry them with them. To me, it's not as controlled. So for some reason, and I don't know if it depends on different brushes, but there is always like, right now it doesn't seem like it, but all of a sudden a gush of water will come out. So if you're trying to get in a really tight spot and there's just too much water, it's going to spread and be all over the page. So I personally, if you're trying to do more precise work, I wouldn't use them. But if you're just trying to get the color on there, I think they work nice. All right. Let's see if I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use the green from hers too. Since I did just have red on there, I actually think I'm going to grab a clean brush So I don't have a muddy brown. And let's see. The water brush, that one was a Prima water brush. I also have like a set of 7 that were off of Amazon. That came, like, some were chiseled and the other were pointed, and those worked fine. And I did have, the original 2 that I bought when I was out of town was Jane Davenport's, and I did like them. I just was really rough on them, and so they just, like, the color is soaked in it and it's really brown. But I feel like the Jane Davenport's are easy. I've not noticed, like, where I would spend a lot of money on them. Like, to me, I just feel like if you can find them on Amazon or Michael's in a pack, I think an off-brand, like, I don't really see, I mean, this is, like, precise the tip, but I feel like you could find other ones. But other people might say something different. Melody, it says you're trying to join my video. Did you mean to, hit that button? Yeah, so, like, the Brea Reese glitter ones are, let me make sure these are hers. Yeah, these are not the Jane Davenport's. You can buy her blank ones, and you can add, like, you could add the alcohol ink into them, you could add her glitter inks into them, or any liquid ink you could, add to them. Now, I don't think different brushes might clog with her glitter ink, but, I mean, you definitely could make your own brushes, just like you make your own sprays and just do it. But, like, the spray nozzle does matter if you're trying to make your own spray. Okay, I'm going to dry. Actually, I want to add a little bit more. I just want to kind of darken up some of it so it doesn't look so uniform. Okay. Let me dry that. Oh, it was I figured it was a accident. You've never used which ones? These ones, the Brea Reese ones? I think they're fun. I like the Jane Davenport ones too. They are super pigmented. So any of those, my experience with them is that if you, like, kind of know what you're doing, because if you bring water, like if you're using watercolors and you bring that water back to the page, it is going to take that color and start smearing and transferring it, which sometimes is a good thing, but sometimes, like, if I was coloring in this flower right here with the Jane Davenport or the Brea Reese and water touched it, I mean, it would be smeared everywhere because it's so pigmented and it's water reactive. Now, sometimes if you've kind of set it with water and dried it, it's not as reactive, but those are more like your last touch. All right, so let's kind of show the just the texture here. I think it's fun, just like the stencils. Breaking up all that color is why stencils are a good choice. And that's why I used a big one. I went with the polka dots, which just, there was a lot going on, and I think that's helpful to get your space broken up. But if I went with a tiny stencil, then it's just going to be like tiny splotches on top of tiny splotches all over the place. So I think I'm going to go and figure out my words of kind of what I want to journal and do. That's easier for me to do since I didn't think about it, not on the live. And then I'll post a finished photo later, and I'll probably add some more touches because I do that. And this stamp set was, because I know somebody will want to know, it is Delightful Daisies by Sweet and Sassy Stamps, made by Nina B. I will show the stencils real quick. If you want to know where they're from, I will tell you. I don't know. Actually, I do think I know. This one is the circle, like with the varying circle sizes, is Dilutions. I'm almost positive on that. I'll look up Dilutions, and it's Dylusions. pretty close to that. This one is, still has stuff on it because I just got that all over. This one is the Crafter's Workshop. They do still sell these. I got these a long time ago, but I think on Amazon or scrapbook.com, you can find it, and it just has a lot of texture. They have quite a few that are this size, like a 6x6, and then there's like all these different textures on there that you can use. And the great thing for this, this is where having an art journal, I do have one. Let's see if I can get it. I'll show you this real quick. Because I've talked about it last week about everybody needs to have an art journal. And here's why. This is just a blank page. But all that leftover on my stencil, and I can kind of rub that through a little bit, you can just pull and just keep doing that with your leftovers, and eventually that will become a page. Because we don't like to waste product, and you can just kind of, I'm even going to wipe my finger off in there because it's just got a lot, and that will create like raised texture for when I paint over or do something. So it's fun. That's a trick I learned from a lot of art journalers, was just to, keep another one nearby and do not waste that product, because you can get some fun like reverse stencils and different things just wiping off that color. So that is all. Thanks for watching, and I'll post a finish later.